All right, man. Peace. Bronzebird here with another video. One of the conversations I may or may not have had on this channel, especially to the idea of fatherhood, is tackling the issues of, especially when having sons, if you should still support your son or be there for your son, regardless if his lifestyle is not the lifestyle you would envision. What do I mean by that? Apparently, of course, we would want to expect our sons to be attracted to the opposite sex with the hopes of them carrying the lineage and being able to bore a child, or at least by societal expectations, just having the ability or the thought process of wanting to carry the family lineage and produce the seed for the next generation. More so than that, obviously, there is some times where you have kids that know how they feel, know what they want to do, and how they want to do things, and it may not go the way that you expected. What do I mean by that? Obviously, I'm talking about the fact of the matter should fathers in particular still be there for their sons, even if they wind up being gay? And it's an important conversation we should have because it's so easy to get rid of someone because of the lifestyle they may choose, the path that they want to go down. And, what's very important, especially towards so-called black men, is that we really do need our fathers. And we really do need our times and our presence to still support our sons, regardless of whatever the decision is, because they still need to be coddled. They still need to be able to be brought up in this society, know what's right from wrong, and be able to have the conversation and just be able to move in a society where they know how to move. So the reason I inspired to have this conversation was this rap artist named Infinite Coles, who is the son of Ghostface Killah, who decided to do a couple of songs, diss tracks towards Ghostface Killah. And if you don't know who Ghostface Killah is, which is crazy because I thought that you should know who that is, Ghostface Killah was a member of Wu-Tang Clan back in the 90s, famously known for his lyrics that, went over people's heads. It's a long story. It doesn't really need to be a long story, but basically one of the members for Wu-Tang Clan. And so what happened was is that recently, I would say about maybe a month or two ago, probably less than that, Infinite Coles, who is his son, is gay and has decided to throw out diss tracks of Ghostface Killah being an absentee father. Therefore, a lot of the lyrics is obviously charged at, saying that, my father ain't shit. My father doesn't support me. He's mad at me for being gay and all this other stuff. And it starts to become a whole entire presence of whatever that is. Now, this is, it says it right here. Infinite Coles, son of Ghostface Killah, has opened up about the support he receives from his uncle RZA of Wu-Tang Clan, or Wu-Tang, despite his father's absenteeism. So I'm gonna read this article from Vibe magazine to give you guys a perspective of the visions and just like where this is all coming from, synopsis and stuff like that, and to give my opinion of what I think about this whole entire conversation. So, Pete, Infinite Coles, Ghostface Killer's son, praises Uncle RZA's support. He always said you'll be bigger than your father. Shoutouts to Amber. Infinite Coles, son of Wu-Tang Clan's Ghostface Killah, has further opened up regarding his estranged relationship with his father and the support he's received from his uncle, the group's legendary pioneer RZA. Following the explosive drop of his double singles, Sweet Face Killer and Dad and I, the singer slash rapper spoke on how his relationship with his father came to be and how RZA has been there for him. In a new interview with Daily Mail, the 31-year-old revealed, honestly, my uncle RZA has been amazing. He's been like a dad. I love him so much. He's amazing. That is my guy right there. He added, he believed in me, always. He just didn't know how to brand me. But I appreciated him being honest with me. He always said, you'll be bigger than your father. He always said that. RZA is the brother of Infinite's mother. The support from his uncle stands in stark contrast to his relationship with his biological father, which has been distant for over a decade. Infinite told the outlet that his father began pulling away as he embraced his sexuality. As I got older, my dad's seen some things in me that he didn't like, and he just distanced himself. He would randomly pop up, he recalled. There's not moments I can remember where we were together for a whole month or a whole week. I think the shift changed when I started living as who I am with my sexuality. Amid the distance, Infinite still recognized his father's talents, particularly his storytelling. At some point, when I started to get into my music and my writing, I started realizing the beautiful parts of my dad, he expressed. Like he's a great storyteller, and I never even got into that and never even knew that. I was like, wow, he can really tell a story. He can really write. I always knew there was talent, but it didn't really resonate with me. He added to the perspective that maybe Ghostface's upbringing has something to do with him being incapable of fathering him the way he should have. In rap, you can hear there's a lot of homophobia, but I try to give him grace because I know his dad wasn't there for him when he was a child, so I don't always want to blame him. He doesn't know how to be a father because he didn't have one, he said. I grew up with family being Wu Tang and they're very hardcore, but that's not me, he added. I wouldn't even attempt to do it. I just ready I'm just ready to be recognized and not be the underdog no more. On his singles, Sweet Face Killer and Dad and I, he directly addresses his personal issues with his father. On Dad and I, he sings, Dad and I don't see eye to eye. I love you, but I think that you be carrying. You tell me to man up, yeah. When I put on makeup, yeah. Nobody's perfect, no. Can't you see that I'm worth it? Can you love me now? Whereas on Sweet Face Killer, he spits, how you in a Mack truck but forget you a father? Is it me? Am I not your cup of tea? Are my pants not low like your self-esteem? Do I need to fuck a bitch just so you can see? Reflecting on the song's intent, Infinite told Vibe last month, I love my father. I just wish we could connect and understand one another and respect each other. I haven't seen my father in over 10 years, and I always wonder if he's okay. I wonder if we will be able to mend or have a conversation before one of our time is up. I just always wonder. So this song is just me pouring out the last bit fight I have in me for him to reach out. He also contextualized his approach to music as more than just commercial success. I have hope people see for me. With this album, I plan to really take off. I feel like it's my time. I feel like I stand out from lots of other artists, especially in my community, because I'm talking about things that I never hear anyone talk about. Infinite Cole's debut album drops on December 5th, 2025. Vibe has reached out to a rep for Killer for comment. And I can understand how that's a hard conversation in which, you would expect your child or your son to follow around the same path that you would follow down, especially being a heterosexual man, but then it's come to find out that your son is gay. But if anything you take from this lesson, one thing that I would have to say to the fathers out there that's dealing with this situation, regardless, you can't change who your son is. Regardless if they decide to say, yo, I'm living my life, I'm living my truth as a gay man, or they might be doing drugs, all these different things, they're still your son. Now, of course, there are certain things that you could readily sit up there and disband or, remain distant from your son for, or your children in general. Certain things you can. I would say that. But in terms of sexuality, I know it's one of these hard boiled issues where, majority of fathers would like to see that their son is interested in women as opposed to same sex. But I would advise, especially for Ghostface Killer, to still have a loving relationship with your son because it really screams out the missing link. And obviously he made it clear in those songs where he wants to have a relationship with Ghostface Killer, but feels that Ghostface Killah disses him and remains out of his life just because of the lifestyle he chose, which is not harming anyone. It's not harming Ghostface Killah. It's not harming his reputation. Ghostface Killah is still a legendary rapper known in the hip hop and the rap streets, especially from the 90s. It's just that the new generation that comes from Ghostface Killah is a little bit different. And it's okay to be different in that aspect because at the end of the day, that's the lifestyle he wants. It's not, like I said, it's not personally harming Ghostface Killah. In my opinion, I still feel like Ghostface Killah, as much as other fathers out there that may have a gay son, is still responsible for molding and helping your sons grow up to be proper figures, whether that means they're gay, they're straight, bisexual, whatever. They still are your child. They still are your son. And they still need that love and support. Otherwise than that, give me your thoughts in the comment section. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Peace.